All right. It is Tactical Tuesday. It is actually Jen and my 25th anniversary. So, in the spirit of how do you get from where you are to where you want to be, or at least move along the path, let's talk a bit about successive approximation. I had a conversation with a guy named Ant earlier today. We talked a little bit about it. Murphy, come. So, I'm going to use Murphy, and you'll see, look at this. He is listening to commands. He knows what he's supposed to do. Yep. Successive approximation. So a couple of months back, we talked about how do you go through the training to help a dog like this, combination of collie and cattle dog, get really good at agility or prepare for agility training. Well, you can't just put a giant jump in front of them and expect that they're going to be able to jump over the gate. They won't do it. So the first thing you do is you lay the pole down on the ground. Lay the pole on the ground, have them walk over the pole, reward, walk over the pole, reward, walk over the pole. Then lift the pole up just a little bit more. Have them walk over the pole, lift the pole up to a little bit more. So it's actually a jump. Continue to reward. If you make the task too hard for someone, they will get frustrated. Something will happen with the dog. Over time, they'll quit. Now, that dog has high drive. I don't know that there's anything that you can do to make that dog quit. I throw a Frisbee, it will go and go and go. Some of the people on your team have high drive. Sometimes that high drive will put them into situations where they can't help themselves. They will continue to beat their head against the wall, trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Without a little bit of training, a little bit of coaching, you leave things up to chance. Add in a little bit of training, add in a little bit of coaching, and you can start to improve results really quickly. Matt Ferguson is going to be on an episode of the podcast here in the near future where he'll talk about how small wins equal big wins. It's the same thing, successive approximation. Successive approximation, I first came across it back when I was in my days at ASU, and we were talking about conditioning and training for specific behaviors. How do you train for these behaviors? The same thing works in the work that you're doing. So put yourself in this situation and think about some of the goals or some of the challenges that you've been working on that you still struggle with being successful toward. A big one for me, we've talked about it. It's weight. It's getting back into a position where I'm as healthy as I was back when I was 18, or in my late 20s, or even just a couple of years ago when I was a little bit leaner. And when I start to do new movements, I can't just go in. I've got a goal, as an example. Goal is to pull 550 deadlift before the end of this year. I can't just jump in and throw 550 on the bar and pull it right now. I would hurt something. I may do some serious damage. And I certainly wouldn't get the bar off the ground. So what do? We add a little bit of weight each time we're doing the exercise. Increase the resistance over time. Increase the load that we're lifting. Still applying the same fundamental skill and technique, but we're increasing the load. How does this apply to the work that you do with your team? If you're getting ready to roll out something new inside your organization, make sure that you've taken the time to train the team up. Make sure that they have got the knowledge. Give them a chance to demonstrate capability. When you give them a chance to demonstrate capability, coach them up relative to that capability. Set the bar a bit lower, get really comfortable doing the work, and then over time, you'll get better at doing the work. Constantly test, assess, and evaluate that work. Don't make it too easy because people will get bored. People will lose concentration. And also, don't make it too hard because people will get frustrated. Just find that balance. And the cool thing about balance is it's going to be slightly different for each of the people that you work with. So if you try to deliver the same thing over and over again with that group, try to apply the same technique and tactics across the entire team, you're going to find yourself in a situation where some people are moving a lot faster than others and some people are moving really slow. And ultimately, you're not getting to where you want to go. If you change up your technique with the team, you might actually accelerate speed to impact across the entire organization. So let's get tactical. Successive approximation, aim small, miss small, short incremental steps to get toward the objective that you're moving toward, whether that's the golf swing, jumping over jump, getting more comfortable with discovery calls. Like I've been on a number of calls recently because we're in the process of buying some software for one of the organizations I'm working with. And our transition from discovery to capability and demo, broadly speaking, sucks. And I say I mean us as a profession. People rush discovery. People talk a little bit too much about themselves. They get in and they give a canned demo that could have just watched in a YouTube video. And actually, in this instance, we had those videos beforehand, and it doesn't create an amazing experience for folks. I'm going a little bit too long on this Tactical Tuesday. Think about successive approximation, how you can create experiences for incremental progress, and and what that incremental progress will lead to over the long term. Hope you have an awesome day. If you have questions, send them to me. I would love to start answering questions, and don't want to create listener questions on behalf of the listeners out there. Send me your questions, add them in the comments. Happy to answer those. You could send those to podcast@catalystsale.com. If you know somebody who would enjoy this video, share it with them. Like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out. I'm learning more and more about the algorithm, and I guess those likes and subscriptions are really important. Sales is a thinking process. Business is a thinking process. Life is a thinking process. How are you thinking differently about your process? Thanks.